welcome to this review of King's Square Blended Whiskey. I did a longer kind of rambling review, and I decided to put that on my Overflow channel, Anti-War, so you can look over there if you want to see that one. I don't think it was a bad review, and I thought it was pretty interesting, but I said, oh, it's too long. I'll just reshoot it. So here we go again, a review of King's Square Blended Whiskey. It's odd because it's 72.5% grain neutral spirits and 27.5% straight whiskey. And look how light it is. It's very, very light. It seems like it must have no coloring added. There's no age statement. And without an age statement, that means this stuff is aged at least 4 years, which is strange as well. Bottled by King's Square Distillers Company, Auburndale, Florida. Well, that's Caribbean Distillers. And if you look, there's a crown and there's a background scene, darker gray on gray, with carriages, trolleys, buildings like an old city square in London, something like that. And this has nothing to do with royalty or Great Britain. It's just what they decided to call it, I guess. But who knows, that could be an area of Orlando, Florida or something, King Square. This might be a brand that's made only for Specs, the Specs liquor store chain in Texas, and the Texas viewers know what I'm talking about. In fact, some Louisiana viewers probably know about Specs. I bought it there at one of their locations, and it was, I think, $6.99 for the bottle, so I figured, what the heck, I'll buy it and see what it's like. So it was very interesting, I have to admit. Very interesting item. Unusual. Now here's some other blended whiskeys I've got coming up. Bellows Club Whiskey, which interestingly this week I saw at a Chinese restaurant. So I said, okay, it's around. There's the standard Bellows blended whiskey, American blended whiskey. I think this is what you can get today. I don't think this is made anymore, with the famous old Bellows B. And then I just have this for another purpose, but anyway, I just thought you might want to see it. All right. Now, will this review be a mimic of what I did before? I don't know, because sometimes when I revisit things, it'll be different. So this, what you watch here, if you bother to watch the other one, may be a good deal different in what I'll say about it. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm not thinking it will be different, but we'll see. Yeah, it's very light. Rolls around in the glass nicely. Seems light in the body, a little oily in the body, but light. All right. Okay, yeah, you get grain alcohol in the under aroma, and then really just in the across the board aroma, but definitely in the under aroma. There is some sweet vanilla and oak, though, at the top of the aroma, of the sniff. So it's bourbon-esque, but certainly not bourbon-y, bourbon-oriented. But, you know, they're probably using straight bourbon, what I mean, for the straight whiskey. Because that's generally what they use to make the blended. You say, yeah, but it might be reject bourbon. Bourbons that weren't quite up to snuff, like what Heaven Hill does. They say that in a video on YouTube, that if some of their bourbons don't come out quite right, they'll use it for the blends. Like too sweet, too whatever. Okay, well, it might be that. And at $6.99 a bottle, you would imagine that is a strong possibility. But it's a pleasant aroma. It's a mild aroma. Now, some people are turned off by bourbon because that strong wood and caramel and corn does turn them away. So this might appeal to you. And I know some people just don't like the whiskey smell or taste. I don't care what kind of format it's in or what class. Scotch, Irish, Canadian, American, bourbon, blended. They don't like it. Well, okay, that's fine. little nut shell. And I've said this before many times, like a pecan. So, taste. This might be a house brand for Spec's. I've never seen it anywhere else. And I only see it online at Spec's. So it could be specially made by Caribbean distillers in Florida for Spec's. All right. There's definite wood. There's some char. This is true. Some vanilla, some dried flowers, and like I said, the pecan shell. Is the overriding bulk, is the bulk of the taste the grain alcohol, the ethyl alcohol? Yes, it has to be, it will be with these blended whiskeys. And I was talking about that on a Canadian whiskey video, a Scotch whiskey video. You drink them down and think on them enough, and they're all of them, they're just going to have that under flavor base, that base under flavor, I mean. It doesn't mean it's bad, it's just that grain whiskey, that's the backbone of it. You may have a problem with that, or you may not have a problem with it, or you may not care either way. But I say it is there. There is a corn component for sure here, top and bottom. A candy corn, which I could live without. In some ways the flavor is, in some ways, you notice I'm saying, it's bold. Like the first hit it's bold, then it mellows out. It's a moderately lingering finish. You know, it hangs around enough to notice that it's hanging around, but not long enough to where it starts to become nauseating, okay? I'm not going to sit here talking about how world class and fabulous it is. I'm not going to do that. Looking at it in the proper perspective, a $6.99 probable private label store brand, house brand whiskey that is almost assuredly going to be used 99% of the time to make highballs. It's okay. It's fine. Can it hang with other blended whiskeys? My assumption is that it can. Don't know about Seagram 7 Crown, which to me is the best of that whole category, but we'll see, because I haven't put it in any taste challenges yet. So in the coming days, when I do that, I'll find out, because that's where the rubber hits the road. When you do the blind taste test, I did D.W. Dant blended Scotch. I liked it. Then I did a review, which I didn't post, but I might reshoot it with my friend David. He liked it. It was nice. Put it in a blind taste challenge with Buchanan's Deluxe 12-year age. It was a pretty bad disparity. The D.W. Dant didn't even come close. It was. Then that lets you know that the quality levels do really make a difference. So anyway. There's almost like a little sourdough thing going on here. There's a sharpness also. It's complex in a way. Maybe not in a good way. I don't know. It's hard to figure this one out. But I do recommend it because of such a curiosity piece. The label looks basic. I remember when I saw it, I said, "What is this?" But then, of course, I couldn't resist. All right. So I would recommend it if you look at it in the right context or in the right perspective. I think you probably like it in that kind of quaint approach, or that curiosity approach. You know what I'm saying? The curiosity approach, the peculiarness of it. All right, enough of that. So I'm glad I bought it, and be curious to see how it plays out with the challenges. So thanks for watching this video production. And y'all come on down to southeastern Louisiana.